Are you about to watch this video and you're not liked and subscribed to it? Like the video, please. Just go down. It's right there. It's right there.
I did. I hit it. I hit it. Have you hit it?
Welcome back to Starting Nine.
Let's go.
Episode 270. I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking sleepy. I had to wake up early this morning, but I didn't want to go to bed until Dodgers Padres was over, which went until about 3 a.m. here on the East Coast. And now I feel like an idiot because when we were previewing the series for this past week, we were like, yeah, you know, we got this here. I mean, still, by the way, Reds Brewers has lived up to the hype and then some. It's been fucking great baseball to watch. But in terms of drama and competition, and I'm sure that there's also an element of, like, Dodgers Padres is basically the main event. They go on last. Like you're watching Brewers Reds, but you may have like other games that you're paying attention to. Dodgers Padres is like, all right, you guys are done, cool, all right, and then they have center stage for
you're getting fluffed. You're getting fluffed all night long, all afternoon long. You're getting fluffed. You got fluffed with the Giants Mets game. You got fluffed with the Red Sox Twins game. Didn't work out for the Sox. Hate to see that happen. But you get fluffed early on in the afternoon with some of those East Coast ball games. I mean, especially with a game like, and I hate to do this, Jared, but the Red Sox, like that was just the back. It was, so you get that, you get excited, and then boom.
Josh Donaldson, actually, stage. I feel better about it. He called and apologized. he called me. It was like 1 a.m. I'm watching. It's like the fucking 11th, 12th inning of Dodgers Padres. My phone's ringing. I'm like, who's dead? Who's dying? Like, who the fuck is calling me this late? It's Josh Donaldson. And he's like, I'm sorry, bro. It's like, my bad. I'm like, I mean, we were doing the series preview on Section 10, and what we do is like we do like the pitching matchups and everything. And, you know, we pick apart like little statistics, and then we look at the players on the opposing team. Like, all right, this guy is, you know, 5 for whatever against this starting pitcher. Every single fucking Red Sox starter. It was like, all right, the guy you need to look out for is Josh Donaldson. He's got 3 bombs off of Nick Pivetta. And then on this day, you need to look out for Josh Donaldson because he's got 5 bombs off of Chris Sale. Like, he just fucking murders all the pitchers that the Red Sox have going. And then you're thinking in your head, you're like, all right, well, he's got a bad wheel. He's, 34? Doesn't matter.
None of it matters.
No. He has hit, like, I don't know, 1,500 feet worth of baseballs in the first 2 games of this series. And one of them was an out. One of them, he fucking hit a ball off the wall in center field. Verdugo had to like leap up and catch it at the wall. Yeah. And then he had a bomb off of Matt Barnes in the first game. He hits a bomb off Hansel Robles in the 10th inning last night. And he hit like a double. Like there was like one of the balls that we were looking at like the data for it. There was one of the balls that he hit would have been a homer in like a bunch of different parks, but it was like, you know, fucking center field at Fenway Park is a graveyard.
Well, have no fear. You could take all of those homers. You could take the Sano homer and old Teddy Williams. That seat is still safe. You combine all those fucking homers, and they would never have reached that seat. How 495
495.
Feet. Miguel Sano
yeah,
legitimately assaulted a baseball.
495. And it was cool, the backstory. I don't know if you saw the backstory, but he hit a kid off the head in batting practice. He was like sitting in the right field corner, and he gave him a bat, and he was like, you know what? The bat's not enough. I'll hit a bomb for you tonight too. No. Fucking 495.
I mean, I probably take the kid a glove if I'm being honest. The fucking bat, I don't know what he's going to do with the bat.
And he was a Twins fan, I'm pretty sure. What are the odds?
What's that?
I'm pretty sure he was a Twins fan.
Oh, really?
It looked from the back. It looked like he was wearing a Twins jersey. So like,
well, you would hope that's the case.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, come on. You would like same thing happened in the Angels game. Joe Adell threw a ball out to a kid in the outfield, ended up like spilling his soda or whatever. So he felt like shit. And the next half inning, Joe Adell, or I don't know if it was the next half inning or at some point, Joe Adell came out with a bat, gave the kid a bat, took a picture, felt bad.
He's a grounds crew member. He reached. I tweeted the video, and he sent me a DM freaking out that I tweeted out the video. He's a big grounds crew guy.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Sorry about your soda.
Yeah. Here's a bat. Here's a picture in a viral video. But yeah, I mean, I don't know like where you want to start in terms of some of the games this past week. I mean, you mentioned Mets Giants. How when you're the Mets, have you reached rock bottom, or do you think that they can continue to sink lower?
I mean, it feels like look, this moment in the schedule for the Mets is what we were talking about, and that's why we were talking about.
They've lost
this.
8 out of 10 during that.
I mean, and there's no other. Jesus Christ, man! There's no other way to assess like where the Mets are, where the Mets are headed, other than looking at this period in time right now, this stretch of games. Because if you think, and this is just me, but if you think that having worked your way through the 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10,
yeah,
like those are the two teams that if you were ever even dreaming of getting into October, like this could be one of them boys. And you want that smoke. You don't want that fucking smoke. You do. So as far as they go right now, yeah, like this is, I mean, what's worse? They just keep losing to the Nats and to the Marlins? Like, yeah, I guess that could be worse, where like the hangover of a 12-game stretch that you're dealing with the absolute behemoths in baseball, behemoths in your league, nationally, like, yeah, you drop 8 out of 10 so far through them, it's almost like, well, what'd you expect? And then on the flip side, like if you come out of that and you can't win ball, then I guess maybe that would be rock bottom. Like if you come out of the Dodgers-Giants fog, like stumbling like you just found like the beach out of the jungle, like, whoa, fuck, all right, water. We've got water. It's water. And then they get over there and it's fucking salt water. You can't drink that shit. You can't drink that. Go in there. Yeah, you think, and now they're guzzling this water, and then all of a sudden they've got bacterial infections. They're shitting themselves. They're dying. Like, so yeah, that could be rock bottom for the Mets.
So on July 28th, this would have been 2 days before the trade deadline. The Mets were 4 games up in the NL East, 8 games above 500. They were 4 games up after beating the Atlanta Braves on July 28th. Since then, they have played 26 baseball games. How many of them have they won?
5.
7. They are 7-19 starting on July 29th, and they've gone from 4 games up in the NL East. Entering play today on Thursday, they are 7 games out in third place, 4 games below 500.
That's all right, Carrabis, because here's this, Mets fans, all right? You just stumbled through the jungle, searching for water, searching for food, just searching. Mm-hmm. And now here you are on the beach. And what that beach represents now is a different pathway out of this, right? And, and you know who that beach is consisted of, Jared?
Who's
it's
that?
The Marlins and it's the Nats for the next 15 games.
Yeah.
So the Mets have a 2-week stretch where they can climb themselves back into this. They can scratch and claw. Can they? Can they? I feel like they've got 2 weeks ahead of them. I mean, look, if you just went 8-10,
yeah,
and you're getting ready to take that one on the chin,
so
your psyche has to tell you we could flip that over against some teams that maybe aren't as good as us or aren't as good as we think we are. So we should be able to go 8-2.
So let me put it to you this way.
You got the Mets winning 10 ball games out of the next 2 weeks?
No. You say the Nats and the Marlins are some sort of reservoir for the dehydrated Mets. And if you look at it, really.
No, but I said, but they're finding out that it's salt water. That's not fresh water for them to drink. That's salt water, and now they're fucked.
Yeah, like a 2-week stretch of playing the Nats and the Marlins, like that's a feast for the Brewers, the Reds, the Giants, the Dodgers, maybe the Padres. But for the Mets, I mean, you look at these run differentials. The Mets are now a negative 33 run differential. The Marlins, the last place Marlins, negative 38, pretty comparable. And then the Nats are negative 49. Yeah, I mean, how many game stretch is this?
It's a 15-game stretch.
Okay, what do you got there? Do you have them with a winning record?
No.
What do you got them at? Do you at least have them like hovering around 500?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll give them. Yeah, I could give them 8-8, or 8 and or I'd say 7-8 maybe.
7 and 8.
Yeah,
I could buy that. I got the okay. All right, I'm with you. I'll ride with 7 and 8.
Yeah, I've got the Mets easing through that little section. 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
Yeah, I don't know that that's doing much for their postseason
Playoff
aspirations,
hopes.
but
Yeah. Do you know what their playoff odds are right now?
I'm gonna guess minimal. I'm gonna well, you're on Fangraphs, I assume.
I'm on ESPN. I don't know what they use.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 2% chance. Is there
4.2?
4.2. Okay. So there's still some hope there.
You think so?
Well, I mean, statistically, numerically, there's still some hope there. It's not a 0, so yes, it's factual saying there is still a sliver of hope there. And straight up, if I'm not being an asshole when I say this. This next 2-week period is just like this 10-12 game stretch between the Dodgers and the Giants. God, I laugh about that because it just sucks so bad to have the Mets experience what they've experienced, the transition occur, and at the at the most unfortunate time of the skid, you're like, all right, we get back on track. We've got wait, hold on. Let me look at this again. We've got oh fuck. Is that real? We've got the Dodgers and Giants, and then the Dodgers and Giants again. What? Who wrote this fucking schedule up?
Yeah.
And
I'm just happy that the Braves
really?
have made the comeback. They're 10 games over 500. They were 1,000% in a position before where they just couldn't even get above 500. Now they're 10 games above 500 after a 9-game winning streak. They dropped that 2 to the Yankees. We'll get to them in a minute. But yeah, the Braves pretty much have this thing on lock. I am calling it. Atlanta Braves, division champs, and I needed that. Because I think I went Dodgers in the West. That may or may not still happen. We don't know. Brewers in the Central, got that one. Braves in the East, gonna get that one. I definitely had the Astros in the West, gonna take that one. And I had the Twins in the Central. I needed to avenge myself. With the Twins in the Central. And if we go back, did I pick the Rays? I feel like I did.
I have no idea.
I think I did.
I have no idea. I know I
We
had
got to
the
go
Rays.
back and check that. But I'm calling it. The Braves got this fucking division. The Mets, Jesus Christ. And they still got one more tonight. They still have one more tonight against the San Francisco Giants, who they don't lose. They don't lose baseball games.
Don't lose.
Speaking of not losing baseball games, the New York Yankees. They run into an equally hot team. They were on fire. They had won 9 straight, and they were like, "Oh, hey, cool! What great timing! We can run into a team that has also won 9 straight." And I'm not going to say they made it look easy, because they didn't. And I don't know how that's going to play out in the postseason. The fact that their bullpen just fucking sucks, and I'm sure that there are Yankee fans that will be like, "What are you talking about? Like, we got Chad Green and blah blah." It's like, all right, but your closer is Aroldis Chapman, and he is statistically the worst closer in baseball. He's the worst reliever in baseball. Did you see that stat that I tweeted the other day?
What about Chapman's success rate?
Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz broke Aroldis Chapman. On June 10th, that was the game that Nelson Cruz and Josh Donaldson both hit 2-run homers. They had a 4-run inning against Chapman. And that was when, like, everyone was like, yeah, but he's got this new splitter. Oh, my God, it's so unfair. He throws 100, but he's got the split and he's got the slider. And blah. Like, his numbers were, like, ridiculous at that point in June. And then came Donaldson and Nelson Cruz. And he's made 23 appearances since then. Of the 146 relievers who have made at least 20 appearances since June 10th, Aroldis Chapman, 146th in WHIP, 148th in FIP, and like and 146th in ERA. He's like statistically the worst reliever in baseball since then. 23 appearances we're talking about.
Well, that's where they're going to have to figure some shit out. If they feel like they've got riders down there,
well, I
because
still
you
like
can't have
Chad
Chapman
Green,
down
but
there thinking you're going to lock down the ninth, knowing what kind of turbulence he's gone through.
you cannot trust Chapman, and I mean, because the reason why I brought up Chapman was because he almost blew the game against Atlanta in that second game. Like they had to take him out of the game, and he just leaving a bunch of traffic there for the next guy. But that I can't see that being a huge plus for New York when you're going to be playing some close ball games in October against some really good baseball teams. But, you know, I like some of their other options. I like fucking Loizica. I mean, he blows 100. He's got movement. But not having your $100 million closer.
What's going to be interesting is how those guys – because, look, the season changes come postseason, come play. Like, what's being asked of you in the regular season, that changes come the postseason. You can just add another inning of work on to whatever you think you're expected to be doing right now during the regular season. Shit hits the fan and things start to get backed up. Well, you, the guy who's just used to getting maybe 2 outs at the end of the inning because the guy who's coming in has already pitched an inning or gotten his out and now he's gotten the first out of this next. Like, there's a lot of stuff that changes about how guys get deployed. So if you don't have the bullpen situation figured out, meaning somebody that you're comfortable with going into the ball game, and even somebody before that you're comfortable with handing it to the guy who's going to nail it down, that's a scary, scary place to be come September and October. Maybe you use September to try to identify guys down there that can stabilize something that isn't a bright spot, but from there – you're going to just need the guys you have now to step up because nobody else is walking through that door in the next couple days.
Speaking of great bullpens, Dallas, on August 26th, as we sit here today, do you have the balls? Do you have the fucking balls to say that the World Series this year is going to come down to the San Francisco Giants and the Tampa Bay Rays? Is that your World Series pick?
No.
That's not your World Series pick?
No.
So you think 2 teams other than the Giants and the Rays are going to be competing in the Fall Classic this year? That's your fucking stance?
My stance is yet to be determined.
So you don't have the balls to even say who's going to be in the World Series today?
No, not right now.
I mean, we've played how many months of baseball?
Almost 5.
Call it 5.
Well, it's almost 5.
I mean, some teams started in late March.
Yeah, we're not all the way through August, though.
5 months of baseball, and you don't have the fucking balls to make a determination of who you think is going to play in the World Series this year.
Things can change. Things change, Mox.
Things do change. If you were to put 2 teams in the World Series right now, what 2 teams are they?
Well, I mean, like if you answer that question, how do you respond by saying any other 2 teams aside from the 2 teams with the best record in each league? Oh, so you don't want to take the 2 best teams in baseball?
I mean, I'm not even talking record. I'm just looking at the 2 best bullpens, and that, I mean, the record can, like, you know, tell me that the Dodgers are going to pass the Giants in the NL West.
Oh,
Tell me that the Yankees.
I think it's fair to say I've been
Rays.
beating that drum for a while.
You have. Tell me that the Yankees pass the Tampa Bay Rays or whatever. The White Sox have a better record by the end of the year. Say all those things are true. Take out the best record. We're talking rosters. We're talking ability. You still nothing.
No, I've talked about the White Sox being a team that needs to be paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned that.
Yeah.
And that's still true today.
Mm-hmm.
The one issue that I have with the White Sox is what type of baseball they're going to be playing down the stretch and what type of baseball other teams are going to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not going to be very meaningful baseball for the White Sox. And they're going to sort of have to flip a switch of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams are going to be playing maybe at a little more competitive level. From the National League side, like there's not much to say. Look, the Brewers are a team just based on what their starting rotation is capable of that you have to consider, especially starting out 5-game sets. Like, and that's why I say if you take, because what just happened? Adames just went down, right?
Yep.
Well, depending on how long that lasts, you could be talking about a team who could be poised to make a little run that now looks very differently. Very differently. And Willy Adames has helped quite a bit with the Brewers' success. Now he goes down, you plug somebody else in there, they hit a little bit of a skid, and now the team that you were excited about, I don't know, maybe looks a little different.
Yeah, don't worry about the fucking Brewers. Keep the Brewers.
We're not
name
talking
out your
about them
fucking
losing out on the division.
Keep
but
the
we're talking
Brewers
about them
name
looking
out your fucking mouth.
Talking about them looking a little different when rosters change.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's been hard. It's been hard, this Brewers Red series. I mean, obviously I'm a Brew Crew fan for life. But I did mention on Twitter having an emotional attachment.
Yeah, you've been called out. You've been snuffed out as just a just a party hopper.
Nope, because I'm still a Brewers fan. I'm still here rooting for the Brewers.
You have shown that you will definitely accept a dinner invitation, and then if the table next to you has dessert and you like the way that dessert looks, you will absolutely get up from the table you're at and go sit down at another table and enjoy yourself. You've shown that. I didn't point that out. People who follow the podcast have pointed that. That's not me. That's not
and I
arrow.
corrected that. I know who you're talking about, and I corrected him in 2 seconds, and he backed down. I was like, I'm a Brewers fan whose job it is to highlight the teams that deserve the love, and that's the Cincinnati Reds. And listen,
I mean, you could
if
frame it however you want. The world sees it.
Nope. If there's a Brewers Reds series, you know where I'm going to be at. You know what side of the ballpark I'm sitting on.
I don't think we do. That's
we do.
That's the take.
I'll get a fucking Bernie Brewer tattoo right now.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
You heard it here. You fucking heard it here.
Yeah, why not?
You won't get Bernie Brewer tattooed.
Yeah, I would.
If I get Shohei Ohtani's name tattooed on me, will you get Bernie Brewer tattooed on you?
Yeah.
I thought about throwing that out, but I was like, yeah, I'm so glad I didn't throw out an Ohtani tattoo bet on the MVP, because that would have been like I could have just gotten that a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people at Barstool that have dumb tattoos that are like on their thigh. Like I would get a fucking Bernie Brewer tattoo like on my quad. No one's seeing that anyway. I haven't worn shorts in fucking 5 years.
Yeah, that's why people get that kind of shit in those locations. So they're like, yeah, I have it. Well, let me see it. It's kind of tough. It's weird. I can't. It's awkward. Can't show you.
Yeah, I would. Should I? If the Brewers win the World Series, I'll get a Bernie Brewer tattoo.
I think you're safe.
No. Are you shitting me? Have you seen this rotation?
I just talked about it.
Okay. So then maybe you're not seeing it close enough if you think that the idea of the Brewers winning the World Series this year is some sort of laughable circumstance.
I think that would be the farthest thing from what I've said, because I just quite literally mentioned the Chicago White Sox to answer your question, and I just quite literally mentioned the Milwaukee Brewers.
So then what you're saying is that you'll get a Bernie Brewer tattoo as well if they win the World Series. That's what you just said?
Only one of us has unfettered access to the Bernie Brewer slide.
That is true. That is true.
Where would you get? See, I feel like you got to get Bernie like on the inside of your. No, you got to get Bernie like right above your pelvic bone, like right above your shaft, so it looks like he's getting ready to hit the slide. Or you get him right above your ass crack, so it looks like he's gonna shoo down the poop chute. Whee!
We've got options. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Better.
If the Brewers win the World Series this year, I'll get a Bernie Brewer tattoo.
All right, if the Brewers win the World Series this year, you'll get Bernie Brewer tattooed on you, and I'll get Shohei Ohtani's name tattooed on me in Japanese.
Okay.
If the Brewers win the World Series.
So you'll get a Shohei Ohtani tattoo if the Brewers win the World Series?
Yeah.
I feel like you should get a Shohei Ohtani tattoo if he wins the MVP.
That's already a done deal. Like, he's winning the MVP. I can't do that. I can't. I might as well just leave today.
What's Vladdy been doing? I feel like I haven't tweeted a Vladdy home run in a long time.
Well, it's Vladdy's not even in the equation at this point.
No,
I had this conversation yesterday with our folks up in Toronto, and look, it's a good segue here. The Orioles avoid a record 20-game losing streak. Our boy RDT was about to find his ass in that shit-smelling harbor.
Well,
He's gonna have to jump in the water.
Hold on. We'll get to the Orioles in a second.
Well, I'm segueing from Orioles because obviously they faced Ohtani, and they beat Ohtani.
But you mentioned, like, my pubic area. Did you not?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. And are you ready for an out-of-world experience?
I mean, if we're talking about your pubic bone and now I'm getting ready for an out-of-the-world experience, Jared, we are doing this remote.
Well, look no further than the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped. That has just taken off in not only the United States, but Canada as well, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your whole solar system. First scheduled for liftoff, Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, butt, and even your anus. The planet.
Pluto?
This fourth-generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has 7,000 RPM motor, a multi-function on-off switch, can engage a travel lock, and is even waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has 4,000K LED spotlight that you can turn on and off when needed for a more precise shave throughout your travels across the universe. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker. It's like having a little astronaut to chop the worst weeds up top in your nose and ear. Best part about this, you can get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code STARTING at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code STARTING at manscaped.com. For a clean trinity and beyond, your spaceballs will thank you. The Orioles, I mean, what would you say? I mean, it's not even like you have to guess. There were odds. The Orioles had lost 19 straight games, and they were going up against Shohei Ohtani. What were the odds that they would win a baseball game under those circumstances? I
don't think that the sportsbook even offered a money line.
Yeah.
You just by how much?
Mm-hmm.
Is the question. By how much? The fucking Orioles become the first team in Major League Baseball to hit multiple homers off Shohei in one game.
Yeah. Santander. Who got the other one? Fucking, was it Ced?
Mullins.
Yeah.
And, who hit the third one? Because they hit 3. Was it Hayes or was that the double?
I don't know. Either way, the Angels scored, 6 runs in this game and still lost? You score 6 runs against the Orioles. I mean, the Orioles' offense is nothing to shake a stick at. It's not terrible. It's decent.
Oh, DJ Stewart hit the third one.
Yeah.
What do you say the Orioles' offense is what?
Nothing to shake a stick at. They've got guys.
Yeah, they've got a few guys littered throughout the lineup. It's not look, straight up. You lose 20 in a row, you're not a
19.
You're not a juggernaut. You're
19.
not an offense
Correct yourself.
that I fear. 19 games.
Yep.
But they did have some bad luck involved.
Mm-hmm.
Losing some one-run games like that shit, like stuff like that is tough because even if you win one of those, say you lose 4 or 5 of those, which is actually, yeah, they had 5 one-run losses, including 3 straight one-run loss games. Like that could change things.
It's bad luck.
It's not like it's changing their lot in life. It's not like it's changing where they're at in any sort of race. But, I mean, you're talking about a team who celebrated winning 1 game after having losing 19, like they just won 19 in a row. You know? And that's the kind of vibe you get when you start piling up these losses back to back. It's fucking agonizing. The A's just went through it having their heart ripped out twice in a row late in the ball game. I couldn't imagine being smack dab in the middle of a extended losing streak and feeling like you've got a chance to win tonight, tomorrow, the next day, all like within 1 run, and you get buried. Like that's a huge, huge dagger right through the heart, man. And to your point, you got Ohtani stepping on the mound. You're like, really? Like, this is fucking 20. Right here is number 20. This guy is going to be in this. He's in the Cy Young conversation. He's already won the AL MVP. Like we're winning this game? Yeah, you are. You did.
They did.
Unbelievable.
If you were on a team like that had just lost 19 straight baseball games and you're 400 games back in first place, and you finally win one, there's obviously the sarcastic celebration that happens. What does Dallas Braden in 2010, how does he react to being on a team that just lost 19 straight games and finally won a game? Like, are you still like embarrassed that the 19 losses happened, or are you like, finally we fucking got one, like we can like loosen up a little bit?
Still embarrassed because I would be smack dab in the middle of that losing streak, right? Like, yeah. I've had the ball 3-4 times and we haven't been able to do a fucking thing. So I'm embarrassed personally. But that's why when stuff like this happens, you have to treat it the way they are. So don't take me telling you that I'd be embarrassed as me telling you that I wouldn't be excited and bouncing around the clubhouse with the rest of my teammates after we win that one fucking ball game. Because showing up to the baseball field each and every day is supposed to put a smile on your face before you even get there. Like waking up out of bed knowing that that's where you're going happens to me. I woke up this morning very excited. I get to go to a baseball field today. I'm gonna go watch baseball. Like, pretty good baseball get played. And when you're a player, like, that should get you up in the morning. Unfortunately, when every time you go to the field, you're getting punched in the mouth for 3.5 hours, you at times are not as excited to show up and get to the baseball field. You are initially, because you're like, today's the day it stops. The work I put in yesterday, while it wasn't enough to win yesterday's ball game, will be enough today. And then it doesn't happen. And so you got to get up and lie to yourself for 3 weeks in a fucking row. That's miserable, Jared. That is miserable. Haven't been there 19 in a row, but I've taken some L's, my man.
I cannot picture you on a team like that handling it very well.
No, it's not great. But honestly, like, look, I was a part of teams that were not great, and it's because there was a lot of us that were young, mixed with some veterans who were on their way out. There wasn't a ton of cohesion, and that's where showing up to the field has to be the bright spot, and it has to be the thing that makes all the other terrible stuff that's going on go away. Like, I love being at the field. Really hate it when the scoreboard turns on, because then they show my statistics, and nobody needs to stare at that. But being here at the field is really fun up until we have to play this game because we're going to fucking lose again.
Mm-hmm. Congrats to the Baltimore Orioles. They got one. They beat Shohei. Brewers Reds. It's been all Brew Crew so far. Brandon Woodruff.
Dirty.
6 innings, 4 hits, all goose eggs, no walks, 10 punchies. I think I saw somewhere that there was a... Oh, man, I got to fucking try and find that stat. It was really good. It was basically illustrating just how dominant Woodruff has been. Is this it here? Okay. Most starts this season with at least 10 strikeouts and 0 earned runs allowed. The Brewers, 8 to lead the majors. Then you've got the White Sox, 7, Padres, 6, Phillies, 6, Yankees, 6, Mets, 4, Indians, 4, Rays, 3, Dodgers, 3.
Woodruff have 3 of those?
Corbin Burns has 5 of those. Yeah.
And?
I'm sorry. Does that not impress you?
No, it does. I thought you were going to continue.
No, I'm just saying that. I mean, Corbin Burns, like you've got the Brewer. I mean, take off the Brewers. So the White Sox have 7, Padres 7, Phillies. I mean, no, White Sox 7, Padres 6, Phillies 6, Yankees 6, Corbin Burns 5, and then the rest of the league has 4 or fewer.
So who and you said so the Brewers have 8, you said, right?
Correct.
Who has the other 3 for them?
I don't know.
Oh, that's what I
I'm
asked.
sure Freddie Peralta's got to have one.
I thought Corbin Burns has had multiple.
Corbin Burns has 5.
Or fucking Woodruff, sorry.
Let's see. Brandon.
Either way, the take-home message leads us back to the conversation I was just having about these dudes, about their starting rotation. Like, you want to run into any of these guys in a short stint?
Woodruff has 2.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'd imagine Freddie Peralta's got the other.
Between Burns and Woodruff and Peralta, like, you like your odds.
Yeah. Actually, I love my odds.
What's unfortunate, Jared, is how many of those boys are going to be in that Cy Young conversation?
I've already given it to Walker Buehler, so I don't know if there's much of a conversation to be had. I think Zach Wheeler really Joe Girardi fucked Zach Wheeler out of the Cy Young frontrunner spot. He shouldn't have been in that game.
Question.
Yep.
I wonder how Phillies fans feel right now about Joe Girardi and some of the moves he's made, even specifically regarding Zach Wheeler, and what you're watching Gabe Kapler now do in San Francisco. Because, remember, Phillies fans couldn't get Gabe Kapler out of there quick enough. Couldn't get him out of there quick enough because of
I see it from both sides. I mean, if you're a Phillies fan, you have to respect what Gabe Kapler is doing with the Giants. But at the same time, I remember back to the very beginning of Gabe Kapler's tenure with the Phillies, and he was making some egregious errors and mental blunders.
Over-managing, right? Over-managing.
Not even over-managing. I think there was he forgot the rules at some point. Exactly what happened escapes me, but I remember blogging a story about Gabe Kapler in the first week of the season, and he just straight up fucked something up that was how do you as a baseball manager not know that that's the rule? He was forgetting rules and shit.
I mean, similar. I know what you're talking about. I remember what you're talking about. It wasn't. Oh God, I can't think of it.
Yeah, maybe I'll search the blog.
But my point, what I'm getting at is they didn't want or were uneasy about the new-aged approach to implementing analytics in the dugout and letting that be a big driver in decision-making. Fans, for the most part, wanted their old school guy. They wanted their baseball man manager, and giving Kapler a shot to get started was just not something it seemed like Phillies fans were ever going to be excited about. So you get Girardi in, all right? You got your baseball man, and stuff like that happened to Wheeler unfolds. My question is, would you rather be erring on the side of judgment calls like that, or would you rather have somebody making decisions the way that Gabe Kapler is making decisions? That's, I guess, the question, because you're running into your baseball manager going with the gut that has kind of failed you.
Yeah.
That's my question.
I blogged on April 6th, 2018. Has anything gone to shit faster than Gabe Kapler's tenure as Phillies manager? Yeah.
Tough scene.
In the first 4 games alone, Kapler used 14 different pitchers.
And that right there, that was the conversation. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He's plugging and playing guys, matching guys up. Third time through, you're not even going to see one dude. Nope, this is the third time through. I've got a guy for that. And then that starts getting questioned. And what Kapler has now done is blended a little bit of the feel, letting a guy go out there for another inning, letting him buy himself another hitter, then maybe go into the matchup. You get one runner on. All right, now's the time that I'm going to do it. But if we've got a 3-run lead and my guy's at 78 pitches, getting ready to start the third time through, I'm going to let him roll. I'm going to see what I can get instead of immediately turning it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys were just pissed that he was super reliant on analytics.
Well, and it's understandable, because if you're the Phillies and you're the Phillies fan base, it's like we've been doing things a certain way, and now all of a sudden I'm going to watch my team get ran by a calculator.
Yeah.
I don't want that shit. I want a baseball guy in there.
Guys were saying that outright too. That like players were saying, like, I guess the computer says that this is where I should be hitting, or like taking out Rhys Hoskins for defensive purposes. And he was like, the big criticism was that he was managing like the first week of April like it was Game 7 of the World Series, pretty much.
Well, and that's a great conversation to have, because that is the difference between postseason baseball and how it's managed, and regular season baseball and how it's managed. And those are glaring differences. So then you start to ask yourself, well, why would I manage any differently during the regular season than I would in the postseason? If the objective is to win each and every game, and we can match up each and every game, why would I not be paying attention to those moves and matchups in April? If I'm going to be doing that in October, and that's what I'm going to need to be doing in October, as a manager, I've got to figure out what my resources are. I've got to figure out who can answer this bell.
We mentioned Joe Girardi. He's turning into like Dusty Baker light almost, where he's leaving guy. We just had Smitty on earlier in the week. We did the Phillies Mount Rushmore, and Girardi had left in Aaron Nola for too long, and then he leaves in Zach Wheeler for too long in this game against the Rays, and Mejia with the big 9th inning homer, who, by the way, Mejia was the guy that the Rays got in the Blake Snell trade, right?
Yes.
Hits a fucking tank, second deck. Phillies lose. I mean, is that more an indictment on the Phillies bullpen, or is that having the utmost confidence in your horse, or a combination of both?
That's exactly where you go. Combination of both, right? And like if you're Girardi, that's the answer you probably lean on is, well, even at that point, I don't know if there's anybody down there that is a better option for us right now than the man that's already on the mound with his stuff and the numbers, blah, blah, blah. Whatever Joe Girardi has in front of him right now, that's the decision that Joe Girardi made. Yeah. Who's better for me right now to get this guy out? Do I have anybody down there that's better than Zach Wheeler? And if the answer is no, go get him.
Yeah. Anytime I see like 115 pitches.
Well, you've been conditioned. And that's the problem. Not you specifically. Fans. Fans have been conditioned. The minute that pitch count turns to 100, you believe the man on the mound is tired. You believe the man on the mound's outing is now coming to an end. And you might be on that path at 100 pitches, but I've seen guys get through 2 more innings and not get to 125 pitches. And so if you're telling me at 100 he's done, but he goes out and gets me 6 more outs, well, he really wasn't fucking close to being done, was he? He had 2 more fucking innings worth of work in him, didn't he? So having a feel, watching how the outs are being accumulated, that's where that comes into play. That when we say feel, what do those outs look like? What did the ball coming out of the hand look like? Was he getting touched up?
What's the contact look like?
Was there foul balls? Were they fighting them off? What direction were those foul balls in? It might say 95 on the radar gun still, but what does it look like? Because 95 straightens out. 95 flattens out in the 7th, 8th inning, as opposed to what it looks like in the 2nd and 3rd inning. 95 with life and late life, that shit's exploding through the zone, as opposed to just getting to its target. 95 early on is being thrown through its target. 95 that starts to flatten out later in the game gets thrown to its target. And unfortunately, never fucking makes it there.
Do you think Joe Girardi made the right decision?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was it sucks because, I mean, like, I think you can cost yourself a Cy Young with one bad start.
Well, sure. And unfortunately, it typically happens later in the season, right?
Yes.
Because like relievers, you go out there, shit the bed early. You got 3 months to try to get that number down. And you could go on a nice little run, 15, 20 scoreless, and that number that looked like a balloon in April could still be very unattractive, but your body of work looks a hell of a lot differently. For a starting pitcher, body of work looks great all the way down the stretch, and then you give up the ass, you lay an egg out there, 8 runs, 5 innings, and it's just like, wow, that shit took a hit. These numbers look completely different now.
The Rays just don't lose either.
They just the Rays, the Giants, the Dodgers.
And the Yankees. No.
And the Yankees. I've put a mental block in my brain to not even consider the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, because it's a new thing. Like, let's not act like the Yankees have been doing this all year. The Yankees needed to go on this fucking historic run just to get to second place, which they're still 4.5 back. Like, they're not nipping on the heels of the Tampa Bay Rays right now.
No, they've just put themselves in the driver's seat in the wild card, and there's no denying that because now your team and my team are sitting there looking at each other going, all right, well, fuck, which one of us is it going to be right now? Because you win 11 in a row or whatever it's been for New York.
11.
As a wild card team sitting, I mean, look, this, let me tell you straight up, this series right now for the Oakland A's is the biggest series of the season.
Yeah.
The biggest series of the season. There's no 2 ways about it. You got a 4-game set with a team who is in
4 games?
4 games, bud. 4-game set.
Jesus, Dallas.
With a team in the driver's seat.
Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you get going?
Tonight, I believe, is a Caprillion tie-on matchup.
Do you guys see heel?
What's that?
Do you guys see heel in this series?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'll tell you right now.
We got 4 out of the 5. We got Cole tomorrow.
You guys got Tyon Caprillion, Cole Manaea, the maniacal mustache Nestor Cortez versus Frankie Montas, And then the finale is Jordan Montgomery versus Paul Blackburn.
I got Nestor getting fucking touched up.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
I got Nestor getting touched.
This series is in Oakland, so a lot of foul ground to work with. I mean, looking at these matchups, I could see. Fuck, man. I could see the Yankees taking 3 out of 4. I'm sorry, I do.
A's beat Cole earlier this year.
I guess. I mean, did you beat him in Yankee Stadium? Had to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that series. Okay. Yeah, he was cheating.
Some would say alleged.
No, confirmed. Yeah, I got Yankees 3 out of 4 here, pal. I'm sorry.
It's not happening.
And not only that, I mean, I was very tempted to say 4-game sweep. I don't know which game the A's win here.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, which game do you look at right here and you think?
How are they not like? How is tonight
one.
not a game that you think that they can win?
Tyon has been outstanding recently.
It's fucking great. So is Caprillion. He grinded through his last start, but he's been fucking great.
Jamison Tyon. Let's see these numbers. Because I feel like he's been the unsung hero on this staff.
He's quietly, like, the second half has been solid.
Oh, better than solid. Let's see. Since July 6th, he's got a 2 ERA his last 9 starts. 2.01. Opponent's got a 6.06 OPS hitting 2.07. 48 strikeouts and 53 and 2/3. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be some traffic. He's given up 40 hits, 14 walks, but the Yankees are 8-1 in his last 9 starts, and he's got a 2.01 ERA.
Yeah, no, I have the utmost confidence because what you got to factor in again, James Caprillion, former Yankee first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little chip on his shoulder. He gets up for these ball games. He's getting ready to. I don't know how you de-stripe the pinstripes, but whatever word that is, he's getting ready to do that.
You think so?
I fucking hope so. I sure hope so.
So then how do you have this series going then?
Well, I mean, you want me to tell you that I don't feel like we can take 3 out of 4 here? I'd love a split. 3 out of 4, maybe ambitious. But I'd be happy with a split, if I'm being completely honest. I'd be happy with a split.
With one.
What's that?
Of course you'd be happy with one. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to give me a $100K raise, I'd be happy. I'd be happy with it, but
well, there's not much I can say. The A's offense has left a lot to be desired at the worst possible time.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who I'm rooting for in this series.
Sure you do. Like the only like what you want to see happen, and this is what you know what? I'm gonna make you say it. Say it.
Say what?
Because you're gonna have to admit something in there that you probably don't want to admit. If you're going to say it, say it. Do you have the balls, Jared? Do you have the balls right now to say that you have no fucking chance to even sniff what the New York Yankees are doing right now as an organization? And the best case scenario for you would be for them to keep the Oakland A's as far away from you as possible because you ain't catching them. Yep. Confirmed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I need the A.
So you're afraid of the Yankees, and that's okay that you're afraid of the New York Yankees.
No,
it's what you just said.
No, that's not what I said.
You just said it. You just said, I know the Red Sox can't hold a
No.
fucking candle to the New
Nope.
York Yankees. So what I need them to
they've
do is keep
bullied
the
them
Oakland
all
A's,
year.
who absolutely scare the shit out of me as
Yankees
well.
aren't
I
this
need
good.
them to keep them as far away from us as possible.
Here's where I'm at, because I'm not afraid of the Yankees. The Red
Oh,
Sox
you just said it.
the Red Sox have embarrassed the Yankees this year. But I will say this: I would rather compete with one team for a playoff spot than two teams.
Logically.
Yes. So, yeah, I would rather have the Yankees bury the A's to keep them off our ass because we can't even beat the Twins.
So tonight and for the next 4 days, Jared Carrabis is a Yankee fan.
I
is
wouldn't
a
say
Yankee
that.
fan.
No.
Cheering for the Yankees.
No, I
Wow,
don't
you've
know.
grown. You've grown.
No, I don't think so.
You've grown.
I'm just trying to get in.
You're showing some
Any Red
serious
Sox
growth
fan that's
here.
like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather have the Yankees lose because fuck the Yankees. It's like, no, I'd rather have the Red Sox. Like, you have to like the Red Sox more than you hate the Yankees. Like, what fucking logic is that? And you can hate the Yankees all you want, but at the end of the day, you want less competition for that playoff spot. You want your game of musical chairs to have two chairs and two people playing. That way you got a fucking seat.
And
Why would
it's-
you invite a third person to that party?
Well, no, but you know what? That you're right, but that's a mindset of somebody who's scared of competition, and that's.
No.
I don't know that your
no,
team
no.
feels that way, Jared, but unfortunately, it sounds like
No.
you might operate that way. That's not a. I don't know. That's a very dangerous way to go about it.
But no.
Yeah.
I don't
all right.
think so.
Whose jersey?
I'm
you gonna
hoping
be
for
wearing
a split.
tonight?
I'm
You
wearing
gonna
my
You
I
gonna
got
wear
a
number
Shamanaya
13,
commemorative.
Carrabis? You getting Carrabis put on the back of number 13 over there?
Well, the Yankees don't put names on the back of their jerseys.
Pinstripe. Well, but I feel like the kind of Yankee fan you are. I feel like you would absolutely have your name on the back of your jersey. Oh yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh fuck. Absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just rooting for good, clean baseball at this point.
That couldn't be farther from the truth.
I hope both teams do well in this
That is
series.
not true
Mm-hmm.
at all.
That's what I'm hoping for. I did not realize it was a 4-gamer until we started this podcast. So, yeah, that's problematic for me. Yeah, I don't know. I got Yankees 3 out of 4.
Not going to happen.
And you know what, Dallas? It might be a sweep.
Oh, that is definitely not going to happen.
Mm.
That is
Yeah.
If
How
they get
could the
swept,
11-0
I'm gonna have to
Yankees
delete my
possibly
fucking
sweep
Twitter
the
account.
fucking the 2-8 Oakland A's?
If they get fuck. No.
If they get swept, what will you do, Dallas? Tell me.
In try to enjoy the remainder of the season.
If the Yankees sweep the Oakland A's, Dallas Braden will do blank.
Nothing. I'll lose my fucking mind. There's
You know what?
nothing-
I give you credit. I mean, like, I've watched like Oakland A's baseball games with you before, and I've been on this podcast with you live when bad things have happened to the Oakland A's. When bad things happen to the Oakland A's on the broadcast, have you ever had to use like the cough button?
dude. Yeah, I have to, at times, like take my headset off and go for a walk to the other side of the booth. Like I've thought about this, and I'm not totally sure how this works. I do for the most part have an idea. Like if the other team, if they were traveling as well, their camera crews and production trucks and shit, well, they would have a lot of cameras on site as well. And typically, when your crew is going to shoot a shot of the other crew, so like if we were playing the Red Sox and we were talking about Dennis Eckersley, we would send a message or it would come over like, hey, probably going to shoot Eck here in the next 10 seconds or so if you want to give him a heads up. So if he, was leaning back in his chair randomly or whatever, like just so they can be sort of physically presentable for a random candid camera shot. Well, if that were to be a thing this year, like there would be multiple times where the camera would just have me like this. Just fucking head down, like doing this or this right here. and that's just like, what hell?
I mean, if NBC were smart, they would have a Dallas cam in like the bottom left corner.
Well, we have because I'm up in the booth now and I'm not down in my spot where I was as the third wheel. That robo cam is no longer on me, and I feel like that's a blessing and a curse maybe, because there was some cool stuff that they caught from time to time, but I forget about, like, the minute the first pitch is thrown, I forget that there's a camera on me too. And so I in my mind am hiding behind, they're just, all they can do is hear me. They can't fucking see me. And well, that's not true.
Like that, I was watching the Mariners series in Oakland when they came back late, and I'm like, Dallas isn't saying anything. So I'm imagining that he's just leaning on the cough button right now, just having a fucking mental breakdown. Like, nothing that he's saying right now is making the air, but he's saying things for sure. Has to. There's no way he's just sitting there with his fucking hands folded, watching this happen, just being like, okay.
Yeah, like the 2 games against the Giants were, like the video footage would have been outstanding. It would have been heartbreaking for A's fans, but it would have been great, because I can remember when Lamont Wade Jr. hit the ball off of Trevino. I legit just went like this. He hit it because it was a fucking it was 2 outs. This game's over, right? Like, I've got my hands on the desk like this, like I'm like this, ready to. He's gonna call. Kipe's gonna nail this call. He's about to blow 96 right by fucking Wade. It's gonna be fucking great. Can't wait. And he hit it, and I just went, and I like sunk down, like, don't go out, please don't. And it went out, and then I just went, and I put my hand on the cough button, and I just went, you have got to be fucking kidding me. How does that get out? How does that get out? It was 95 in his face. And like, my producer is trying to get my attention because I've got to, like, comment on the replay. And I'm like, no, fuck you and fuck your replay. And they know that I'm fairly emotional about that stuff. So they're talking shit to me back in the truck, like, hey, get it together. Fucking, it's fun banter. But, oh, man, yeah, dude. Like, I do.
You got to get that stuff on the air. That's what the people want.
Because it's me banging my fucking forehead on my desk, holding the cough button down so the people watching can't hear me.
If you're holding the cough button, can, like, your broadcast partner still hear you?
He can't hear me, but the production truck can. And so because we have a cough button and then we have the talk back button. So the talk back button allows us to be able to communicate, while maybe my partner's saying something, I'm hearing something, but I'm seeing something as well. So I can hear my partner, I can hear the truck, but I'm also communicating to them. Like, there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking great.
Yeah. It's not a good look.
No. Anyways, Giants beat the Mets again. They're going for the sweep tonight. Last night, though, a gauntlet match between the Dodgers and the Padres. Walker Buehler versus Blake Snell. Blake Snell he was working on I obviously wouldn't have went CG, but he was working on 8 shut against the Dodgers and gives up the bomb to, was it Will Smith?
Yes.
On his 116th pitch of the outing. And I mean, I want to say that was the most pitches that he's thrown in a start since 2018.
It's his career high, I believe. Right?
Was it?
I think I thought I heard that. I could be wrong. Either way, it's near the most amount of pitches. It's close to the most amount of pitches he's ever thrown.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he had some starts in 2018 where he had thrown like 110 plus.
Did you watch that portion of the game where he was taken out and all that?
Yeah.
What did you take away from his removal? Watching him. What did you take away?
Blake Snell is a big body language guy, and I think we've seen him react emotionally to being removed from baseball games. The read that I got on Blake Snell getting taken out was that he wasn't upset about it. I don't think he was like, why did you fucking leave me out there? I mean, it's like it was more like, thanks for giving me the chance to compete type vibes.
That is exactly what you saw. And that was, it's unfortunate because it feels like he's not going to have an opportunity to maybe get a little deeper in the postseason this year and have the right to do that. And look, there's still a lot of baseball left. But as of right now,
he might not even get a fucking start.
What's that?
I was going to say he might not even get a fucking start in the postseason.
Exactly. But I like to see that because that's a victory that is won in the clubhouse, and I think that helps moving forward because who knows? Maybe in September they find themselves in a scratch and claw scenario where they need the ball game won. Blake Snell's on the mound at that time, and we've already been down this road before with him. And I mean, in this season, that outing yesterday could come up again a month from now in a very important time. And because they've had that happen where he's been rode with to the end, gave up the homer, then gets pulled. Next time that scenario comes up, based on the things we've talked about earlier today in the podcast about watching how the outs are getting made, now maybe Jace Tingler's looking at how those outs are getting made later down the road, a month from now, in that big start we're kind of willing for Blake Snell. Now Jace Tingler's able to make a sound and educated decision based on some interaction between him and Snell, as opposed to going back out there and feeling like he's about ready to make the same move that pissed Blake Snell off a while ago in the postseason.
Yeah.
So now we've kind of laid that ground. We've laid that foundation for me to either roll with you again later or you to understand that, hey, bud, we've done this before. Right now, I've got to go to the boys down there.
Yeah. And I want to say, I'm going to rewatch it right now. It's on my Twitter somewhere. It wasn't a bad pitch. I mean, it was 95 up. It was out of the zone a little bit. It was a fastball up, like an inch or two above the zone, and Will Smith just got it.
So, to my point, how fast was it?
95.
What inning was it?
The eighth.
How many pitches into it?
116.
95 looking a little different than maybe it did earlier in the ballgame. And even though it's an inch or two up and out of the zone, it doesn't have that carry, doesn't have that extra foot on it. So now it's something that Will Smith can get to, as opposed to just being completely fucking blown away by.
Yeah. It was also interesting to see that, I mean, like, he's not one of those guys that's going to scream fuck after giving up a homer like that.
No, that's a Spartan-like effort, man. He was grinding. That's a high leverage, like the mental exhaustion for Blake Snell after that game is far greater than anything physical. And so there's not much that you're like, and again, the reason he's not yelling fuck and any of that is because he understood what was unfolding. He was being given the opportunity to get extremely deep into that ball game and finish things off for himself through that inning, and it didn't happen. So who's he going to be mad at? He knows he made a mistake. No harm, no foul. Team's got a chance to win the ball game still. Really wish that wouldn't have happened, but goddamn, This feels a lot better than getting yanked 3 innings too fucking early.
Yeah. Then you had the fucking Fernando Tatis Jr. 2-run bomb to tie it in the fucking bottom of the 15th inning.
I mean, you just knew it was going to happen.
I didn't. He was like 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts.
4 punchies. And you know what? I wanted to tweet, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I don't ever want to put shit like this out there. But if he goes 0 for 6, a lot of shit talking. If he gets that one hit that he got, not hearing much about it.
No.
And I wanted to say, if Fernando Tatis Jr. hits a home run right here, all 4 of those punch outs go away. And they do, but do they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do.
But the reason I asked that question is because I think to myself, did he have a chance before that to make something happen in extra innings, men on base, runners in scored? I believe both teams were like 2 for 30 or some shit.
It was we were in the 12th inning maybe, and the Padres had 3 hits.
Mm-hmm. They got no hit through 9 innings at one point. There was a 9-inning period where the San Diego Padres were no hit.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. They had like 3 hits through 12 or whatever it was. I mean, the Dodgers at that point I think had 5, so it's not like they were fucking tearing the cover off the ball. But I called it like a classic, or like I called it a banger. And people were like, this isn't a fucking banger. This is like bad fundamental baseball. I was like, yeah, but like that for me, it's not so much like I don't need a perfectly played baseball game to enjoy it. If there's guys making, like, I love baseball games where you just see shit that you don't normally see. You saw a lot of bad base running. You saw, I mean, like, you know, I feel like you could look at it from both sides where a bad at bat could be looked at as a ballsy pitching performance. I mean, the guy punched him out. Like, what do you want from me? So I enjoyed it. It was chaotic. The Tatis homer, like, God bless Don Orsillo for still having the energy 15 innings in to make an energetic call. I mean, it was
that ball. Did it not hit off the glove?
I didn't see that. Did it?
I think it hit off the glove. Like, I haven't watched any highlight shows this morning, but I believe that ball hit off the glove and then hit the top of the cement, like that platform area that you put your drinks and shit on. Like, it almost landed in a thing of nachos, it looked like. But yeah, I've got that ball hitting off the glove of who's out there? Chris Taylor?
Yes.
Yeah, when I saw Chris Taylor tracking back, I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. Is he about to rob the kid right now? Is he about to snag one from El Nino? But
guess who just hit a homer?
Who?
Guess.
I don't know. Tatis.
Shohei, number 41.
Oh, stop it. Show bombs. Yeah, what I started to think about is, what was Rob Manfred doing? When did Rob Manfred start to get up and pace in his living room?
What, because it was the longest extra innings game of all time with the runner at second rule?
Yeah. He's like, look, I've given you a guy at second base, for fuck's sake. You guys still can't do this? You still can't score a run? Like, give you a fucking leadoff double. So I wonder what fans truly think about what they saw unfold last night and the rule, because that's the first time this season we've gone to 13 innings, right? It's obviously the longest game, the longest extra inning game since the rule has been implemented.
Yes.
So this is just one time, though.
I want to say the Red Sox might have went to 13 innings with the rule.
Did they?
I think so.
So let's say that happened. What do we have? 2 games since this rule's inception that have gone beyond?
Yeah. I love the rule.
15 innings?
Yeah, I love the rule, and I mean, because there's nothing worse than like being the home team, giving up a run in the top half and extras, and then feeling like if we can just get somebody on, like you at least feel like, all right, we got a chance to at least tie it.
You just get no hit through 9+ extra innings worth of baseball.
Yeah,
and you had a runner on second to help you out. My question is, or I guess my point is, last night's ball game doesn't do much for the argument that I make, that our man Clev makes, for letting us play this game out. We've worked really hard to get here. Let us play it out. Well, with the approach that occurs at home plate, even with guys on second base, it doesn't seem like an approach that's been conducive to generating runs. So if we can put a guy at second base and you can't score for 5-6 fucking innings, then how could you ever tell me that we don't need to try to spur scoring along?
yeah.
Like, we just gave you a leadoff double every inning for 6 innings,
and
neither side could generate a run.
Yeah.
You got big league hitters in a lineup that started 6 innings off with a leadoff double, and nobody scored.
Yep.
So if you look at it from that perspective, you can tell me, to your point that you made earlier, is it shitty hitting or is it great pitching? Well, I'm guessing over 6 innings of starting the inning with a leadoff double and you can't score the run.
Yeah.
As a pitcher, I'd love to tell you that we've been shoving it up your ass for those 6 innings. I got to feel like you've probably given an at-bat away at some point in time in those 6 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning your approach hasn't been what it could have been to maybe get that guy over, blah, 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 blah. You know where I'm going with this.
Yep. Tough. Still a great game, though. I had fun.
I did. I had fun. I legitimately was passed out in my chair, like after the, I think, 11th inning. And I woke up in the 14th inning at like 12:30 or whatever. I don't know. I was like, holy fuck. This game's still going on. And that's when I had the thought in my head. I was like, bro, they've been leading these innings off with a guy on second base for like a fucking hour and a half. And nobody's scoring. What's going on?
Yeah. Shout out to everyone on the East Coast that stayed up for that game, by the way. That was it was a grind. It was a long one. But today's podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek. We've worked with SeatGeek for a long time. We're excited to be back working with them for the 2021 MLB season. Live events are back, and more importantly, baseball is back, and our friends at SeatGeek have all the tickets. Whether it's baseball, football, concerts, or more, SeatGeek puts tickets from all over the web in one place to make buying simple. SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure that you're getting a good deal. Green means good, red means bad. We get that wild card game coming up, Dallas. October 5th, they released the dates.
I saw that.
October 5th.
Hope I'm there.
I hope you're there, too.
I hope you're there.
I'll be there.
Oh, I mean, that sounds like that sounds like somebody's throwing out guarantees. That I don't know that you're in a spot to be throwing out guarantees.
I'll be there.
Well, I mean, I'll be there too.
Yeah. I guarantee I'll be at the game.
Yeah, I'll be at the game. You'll
Don't
be
know
at
who's
the game.
playing.
Whether
I'll
or not
be
the
there,
Red
though.
Sox or A's are at that game.
Yeah. I mean, our Mariners, America's team, might be there.
Don't throw "our" in there. I'm not on your America's team wagon. That is that is no wagon. That's not a wagon at all. That at best is a 3-wheeled radio flyer, crickety clanking its way down the road. That's
America's
not a fucking,
team.
Not even close.
Our Mariners.
Struggling seamen.
Our Seattle Mariners, America's team. They could be there too. And you could be too if you want to go too. It's $20 off your first order using the promo code STARTING. All you got to do is download the SeatGeek app, click the Me tab, and enter the promo code STARTING, and that gets you $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek.
We got some news and notes to take care of. Playing a little pepper here. Got some injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
Saw this, did not like this, understood it, and took away. I'm not really concerned. Jack Flaherty, down. Left the game after 2+ innings on Tuesday. Got hit around a little bit, gave up a homer or two, I think. Shield comes out. And the reason I'm not totally concerned with this, Jared, is because he spent a lot of time on the shelf earlier in the year with an oblique strain. So he's not moving around much. He's not throwing much, okay? What I understand is the front of the shoulder is where the soreness was or the tenderness was. So I instantly just think bicep tendonitis, which is just some tendons that are a little pissed off because they haven't been worked as much as he's going to be working them right now. So it's kind of getting those things back fired up, and they can be a little cranky when that happens. So that's where I'm going with this and what this means and blah, 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 blah. So the MRI, mostly negative, no major structural damage. Those are all good things, little trigger words, structural damage, blah, blah, blah. So it's just really not trying to turn this into anything bigger than what it looks like it could be. Like, I'm just glad that there was nothing major in the pictures. Because this sucks. This sucks. The Cardinals and Jack Flaherty need a healthy turn.
I was disappointed to see it because I was super excited when he came back. He made this was his third time through?
I think so.
Yeah. His first start back was very excited to see him back. And hopefully he's back soon because now it's the shoulder. Now we're talking about a different injury. This is not a re-injury. This is a new injury. So hopefully we see him back soon. We can stick to the Cardinals, though.
Yeah. Yachty signed up. One more campaign.
Yep.
10 mil piece. Did you see what Pedro said on MLB Network?
No, what'd he say?
Just said, hey, while I've got you, Yachty, now's not the time. Like, don't put it in stone. Don't put it in stone. You're good. You feel good. You're helping the club. You're impacting the team. So don't put a limit on it, man. That's kind of what Pedro's message was. And it's tough because I'm going to tell you straight up, Yachty's already got one foot out the door when you're thinking about this.
Yeah.
And what next year looks like, I have no idea. As far as performance production goes, if he's out there, there's no questioning what he means to the pitching staff, right? At some point in time, Yachty has got to make a decision on whether or not he can physically contribute on a daily basis to the point where he is okay with the production. Because it appears that the Cardinals are more than okay with the role he'll be able to serve.
Yep.
Yep. Where's Waino at? He got one more year. Is this it?
Contractually?
Yeah. 1 year, right?
I want to say this. I think he might be up after this year. I don't know if he has I think he's a free agent after.
Do they bring Waino back too?
I would. Wouldn't you?
Why not? Why not?
Why
Dude's
not?
having a decent go at it at fucking, how old is he?
Oh, he's got to be fucking 40. Where is he at? Adam Wainwright. Yeah, he's up after this year. Free agent after this year. At $8 million? You kidding me?
Sign him up.
He's 39. He's gonna be 40. What's that? Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna be 40 on Monday.
So we'll see if they give him a crumb or two to come on back and ride off into the sunset with Yachty. I feel like that's got to be the deal.
You have to do that.
Yeah, and I said this, So announcing this absolutely puts Yachty in a position to enjoy the tour.
Yep.
The farewell tour.
If you're the Cardinals, you got to give fucking Adam Wainwright like a 3-year deal.
Why?
He's thrown 162 and 2/3 innings this year. He's punched out 150. He's got 3 complete games and a 3.10 ERA to go along with a 105 WHIP.
Mm-hmm.
39 years old, still doing it at like a, I don't want to say elite level, but like the tier below that, a very good level.
What's not elite about a fucking? I mean, he's knocking on the door of a sub-3 with 160 plus.
I mean, when I think elite, I think you've got to have more strikeouts than innings pitched.
Well, that's just. I mean, that's domination.
Yeah,
like elite,
but that's elite
like,
to me. Like
what's
the
that?
elite guys, are going to have more strikeouts than innings pitched.
What? Because there's domination there, but like there's guys
He's still very good. Very good is still a good compliment. I'm not saying
I
he's
got
okay.
those numbers being like aside from the swing and miss, like that is frontline shit.
Will he
Straight
finish
up.
top 10 in the Cy Young?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh.
I do. Just without even looking at anybody aside from.
I feel like there's just way too many good. Like the National League is loaded, so I don't. Without looking at a list of names in front of me, let's see. Who do I have finishing ahead of Adam Wainwright? Obviously, you've got the obvious. You've got Walker Buehler. You've got Brandon Woodruff. You've got Zach Wheeler. That's
Rogers.
already 3.
Rogers.
Corbin Burns. Gosman. Well, Scherzer. Scherzer will still get votes because he stayed in the same league. Chucky Morton's turned it around. I mean, he's put it this way. I won't tell you that Adam Wainwright won't finish in the top 10 for Cy Young this year. I will tell you that if he does, it might be 10th.
That's brave of you.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. Is that mean that he's elite?
I mean,
Top 10 Cy Young, is that elite? Or do you have to have the dominance numbers?
that would help him. The dominance. Just taking care of business on your own as a starting pitcher means a lot these days. Means a whole hell of a lot. Because I can tell you I'm elite at missing the barrel of the bat, but that still provides a lot of opportunity for my fielder to fuck it up, for him to fuck it up throwing it, for the guy who's supposed to catch it to fuck it. There's a lot going on there. If I can just make you miss it, that's pretty valuable.
Yeah. I'm going to put him right here in the very good category. This sucks. Triston McKenzie going to the injured list. He's been dealing. Shoulder fatigue. That's just like
give him a breather.
There's no reason to risk it. Don't risk
him a breather.
the biscuit.
That's it. He's 19 punch-outs over his last 15 innings. His past 2 starts. Yeah. Chill. The dude has made some incredible strides recently.
Well, this month, he's got a sub-2. He's made 4 starts this month. He's got a 1.93, 28 strikeouts in 28 innings.
Shoved
And that's
against
with he went 8 shut with 11 tickets against the Tigers, and then he followed that up with 7 2-hit innings against the Angels, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, he almost threw a fucking perfect game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he retired the first, 23 batters he faced?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm here for every bit of McKenzie just continuing to grow and dominate. It's real fun to watch. Real fun to watch because he starts tasting himself a little bit. and he starts settling in, and it becomes a little bit of a show out there. I'm a fan, big fan.
Yeah.
We know this, big fan. Caleb Smith,
Banged him.
fucking cheater.
Starting 9 alumni.
I mean, I want to hear. I want to hear from Caleb Smith.
What do you want to hear him say?
I want to hear him explain what he thinks is going on when they're checking, what he thinks maybe happened. Like I'll just read this quote. And remember, Caleb Smith's suspension was announced Tuesday, and it's the second this season, right? So he's elected to appeal his suspension, which was scheduled to begin when the Diamondbacks play at Pittsburgh on Tuesday, a couple days ago. And his quote is, or this is from Torey Lovullo. For me, of course, I'm frustrated. I'm hurt when the player hurts. That's how I wear it. I'm emotionally attached to these guys. With Caleb, I think he's extremely frustrated. He's frustrated because he's been accused of some wrongdoing that he thinks is not justified. That's why I think he wants to appeal. He wants to be heard. He wants to get his story out there. And so when I hear that,
Come on back.
I absolutely want to hear from the pitcher. Like, what the fuck is going on? Because, like, I've heard from other places about what's going on, how people feel about stuff like this, but I would love to hear it from this individual.
Yeah. What do you think goes on in a situation where somebody gets banged for a foreign substance and they believe that they are innocent?
Was it on the glove? Was it on the hand? Was it on the hat? Was it on the belt? Was it like, this is almost like the Astros scandal and wanting to know who's hitting the trash can. Like, we know people are hitting the trash can, but can you tell me who? Because that would put a lot of questions to rest. That would, like, satiate the appetite for answers. Who? Who's doing it? Well, where was this shit? Was it a glob on his hand? Was it a little streak on his glove? Was it a little patch on his belt that you touched and determined? Like, what fucking happened here? Baseball just refuses to tell the fans what the fuck is going on in the sport that they're watching and committed their lives to, it feels like. Like, oh, you see some shit going down on the field? We are absolutely not going to clarify that. Not at all. Have we just been sitting here for 3 minutes during a replay, and all we're doing is showing you shit up on the Jumbotron and giving you nothing other than a safer out at the end of it all? Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not even interested in giving you the facts about what's going on or teaching. Like, just explain what the fuck is going on. Because if you were an entity that really cared about this and you didn't want these offenses, when it happens, I feel like you would come forth and say, this is what happened. We found it here. This is what's going on. And if you're going to tell me, well, if they come out and tell you that, now you have an idea of where to put it next. Now you know how to circumvent the process. No, that's all part of peeling the layers back, is leaving no stone unturned, creating an environment where everybody's on the same playing field.
You know what I was just thinking that whole time? They've got to make a movie about the Astros cheating scandal. Like a dramatized, like, behind-the-scenes version. Not even a series. Like, I want to see a movie where it's dramatized, where they consult people, like, after, like, all the books are written. Like, there's still books coming out about it. I'm assuming, like, if you're going to put a book out about it now, all this time later, you've got to have new information.
I feel like the efforts of the books are going to be to try to shed light on other organizations and try to continue to detract from what the Astros did, how egregious the act is in your mind, as opposed to when you read my book and I lay it out for you that other teams were doing similar stuff. By the end of this book, I want you to not be as mad at the Astros.
Yeah. So I don't know why this interview didn't get any traction whatsoever. Evan Gaddis went on an Astros podcast and just told all. And had no remorse, which I almost respect that more. He was like, "What do you want me to do? Tell you how sorry I am?" It was fun. He was like, we were stealing signs, and you're gonna sit there and tell me that it wasn't fun to see Springer up there knowing a fastball is coming, and then he hits one on the fucking train tracks. That was fun. So he had no remorse about it, and he was very open about what went on. So if you were going to make a movie about it, you could consult people like that are like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you every little detail about what happened.
Yeah, but you know what? I would say this to Evan Gaddis, too, and I would say this to his face. If you're going to say all of that, then throw a name out there.
Yeah, I guess. Unless he's only trying to put it on himself. I mean, it's up to other people. I could see it from his perspective of I'm going to own up to what I did, what I benefited from and what I had a hand in. But
well, that's where okay, yeah, I did it. I was involved. Okay, well, Evan, tell us more. No, fuck you.
Well, I don't think it's a yeah, fuck you. I think it's more just I can only I'm only here to tell on myself.
Well, and that's where I go, oh, that's interesting, Evan. So you did hear a bang when you were at the plate, did you? Okay. You have no idea. You have no idea who was banging the trash can?
Well, he wouldn't say that. He'd be like, of course I know. I'm just not going to rat out someone else.
And that's my point is, so the idea of him trying to put it all on himself, that falls on deaf ears. No, you're not. You're just going to, you're going to raise your hand and say, I did it. Well, there's follow-up questions. Are you going to have us believe that you did it all your own? Because I know you're not that dumb. So then if you're saying anything, what are you saying? You're just essentially kind of rubbing it in the face of your opponents. You're not trying to be brave or anything. You're just talking shit. That's all. That's how I take it. If you're going to come out and get on a microphone and tell people that you were cheating and that you had fun doing it, but at no point in time are you looking to make amends or then that's all that can be interpreted as in my mind. And sure, Evan Gaddis has traveled quite a road to get to the big leagues, right? Quite a road. I played with a guy similar to Evan Gaddis in terms of being unapologetic for the road that he had to travel to get to the big leagues, showing up in the big leagues as an older rookie, wearing the bullshit and dealing with the he did it, but he didn't take it gracefully. And the minute that he felt like he didn't have to take that shit anymore, he quit taking it. And he alienated himself from the clubhouse by doing that, but he didn't give a fuck. And if that's how you roll, that's how you roll. I can't tell a guy he's bad or good for feeling that way. I can't listen to somebody go, you know what? Good for Evan Gaddis coming out, and because he's not coming out and saying anything. He's coming out and rubbing it in the faces of his opponents if he's not going to follow up and try to
I didn't say
dots.
Good for him. I was just I guess how candid he was shocking to me. It felt like when you're listening to that interview, it feels like you're eavesdropping on a phone conversation that you're not supposed to be listening to. And that's how open and unremorseful he was.
And that's why I say appreciate that from Evan Gaddis. Seriously, appreciate that, because those are answers that you maybe would never think you would get, or not answers because there wasn't answers, but insight, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That, and that should be appreciated. Whether you like what he says or not is one thing. But can you separate liking what he says from the fact that he said it? Well, I can. And I appreciate the fact that he's like, yo, yeah, it happened. Am I sorry? Nope, not sorry. Am I going to tell you who was banging it for me? Not going to tell you that either, because I'm okay with you thinking however you think about me. That's fine. I'm not going to be the guy, though, that tells you something that changes your opinion about another guy. I'll let them tell you that if they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind.
Get it all. What's that?
Which I don't mind.
No, like, yeah, the only thing now is, like, if you're one of those teammates, though, and you've got this guy doing stuff like that, it's almost like that reminder, like, hey, there could be a day where Evan Gattis wakes up and is like, you know what? It is fuck you. And your name is coming out today. That could happen 20 years from now.
Yeah. I'm sure it will, because eventually, like, you know, guys leave the league and you miss the roar of the crowd, and it's like, well, I need to feed that beast. I need that attention back on me. How do I do that? Well, pull up a chair. I've got a story for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one.
And that's like could a movie even be made where you even allude to certain individuals playing certain roles that we may or may not have clarification on? What I'm getting at is, in the movie, if I show you half of a player's number, and let's say it's the right side of his jersey, and let's say it's a 7, and let's say this individual's really a lot shorter than some of the other individuals in the shot, and I show you that guy with a bat, and then I show a trash can, and then I cut scene, and you hear banging, like, are you going to get in trouble for that? Because it's pretty obvious what we just kind of alluded to there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really short guy on the team, number 7 on the right side of his jersey. We see him with a bat standing next to a trash can. Then we cut scene to Evan Gattis up there hitting a fucking homer after a bang bang. Like, can you do that? I don't know if they can do that.
And maybe if you don't use their names, I want to see it. Eventually, I want to live to see the day that Hollywood dramatizes the Houston Astros cheating scandal. Just because, like, it's not even like a justice thing or like a expose them thing. It's like I'm just genuinely curious. I want to be a fly on the wall to see behind the curtain. I want to know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. If we've got fucking Tiger King dropped on us as a society, we deserve this.
Yeah.
Very appreciative for Tiger King, by the way.
Yeah.
But we deserve. What comes first? Hollywood, or
like 30 for 30?
No. Does Hollywood bring this to us before a disgruntled player brings this to us? And, like, is Evan Gattis at the top of the list of individuals who you're worried about if you're a teammate of his that knows what he knows? Because if he's done that interview...
Well, there's one guy that I feel like could kind of sing like a bird here, because he's... Everyone else that has been like a main culprit, they're still getting checks. There's one guy who's not, and he could get bitter real soon if he's not.
Well, I know. I feel. I don't know.
I mean, there's one dude who is at the epicenter of it, and he's the only guy that's currently not getting checks right now.
He doesn't necessarily need the money, though.
No, he doesn't need the money. But he's I mean, there's a difference between I need the money and fuck you for taking away the thing that I love the most, while everyone else still gets to have it.
But he's not at a point right now where that's gone for good, because he can dip his toe back in at home and eventually make his way back, just like he saw his boy do.
Yeah.
So his boy didn't have to go back home. His boy just kicked his feet up for a year. So after that cycle goes and completes itself, get himself back into the game at home, find his way back into the game here.
Yeah. Or maybe his niece
Jared,
writes a tell-all before.
Oh, well, and this is where my whole question about where does it come first, Hollywood or the play? Because if you don't let him eat at some point in time, closed mouths do not get fed.
Mm-hmm.
And that, because now we're talking friendships, we're talking relationships, we're talking brotherhoods are on the line.
Oh, there are already fractured friendships and relationships within that circle.
And you know why? Is because somebody's got a job and somebody doesn't. And those individuals know how everything went down. And if we're sitting in the same room and it's just you and I, and there's no microphones, there's no cameras, there's a solid chance that you and I probably should have the same opportunities or maybe shouldn't have the same opportunities. But it didn't quite work out that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just still find it fascinating. I mean, I know that, like, if you're an Astros fan listening to this, which I don't know that many do, but besides Freddie, that annoying fuck.
Fuck yourself, Freddie. We love you.
I don't know that many Astros fans listen to this podcast, but we're not, like, or at least I'm not. I'm not bashing the Astros. I have no Astros hate.
No.
I definitely have a grudge with Carlos Correa. It has nothing to do with the cheating scandal, and I don't look to that story to do any, like, gotcha stuff or any, like, fuck you, like, angry stuff.
No.
It's more just like I'm fascinated by it.
Oh, for sure. That's where my whole mindset has been. I mean, we've talked about it on air on our A's broadcast. Like, you've got to turn the page, otherwise you're going to be consumed with multiple years of your past and an organization, and you're going to let them impact what you're doing as an individual and as a group. Like, that's a terrible way to live your life, man. Terrible, terrible way to live your life.
Yep. Anyways, Alex Bregman's coming back.
Yeah, Breggy back.
Yeah. He's been gone for a while. Holy shit.
Shout out, well, I should say this. Jared Leto called and absolutely wants his look back.
That was a Photoshop. You know that, right?
Was it?
Yeah, he doesn't look like that.
Oh,
He would look great if he did look like that. But he doesn't. He hasn't played since June 16th. And then he came back last night, 2 for 5, a double, drove in a run.
Just what you want to see.
I think the Astros walked it off, didn't they?
Just what you want to see.
Huh.
Just what they needed.
Yeah. I'm happy to see Bregman back.
Yeah. Fucking ecstatic.
Fucking ecstatic.
What do you got on this? DeGrom, Syndergaard, both. Rehab stint.
Too little, too late.
The one word that came to my mind was why.
Well, I mean, with DeGrom, like, you want to see it. You want fans to show up and pay their money, and you want to witness greatness. And if he can get out there and pitch, get out there and pitch. I don't think the Mets are dumb enough to rush either guy back. I don't. I think if Jacob DeGrom couldn't take the ball, he's not gonna take the ball.
It's not about Jacob DeGrom. I like.
Is Syndergaard up at the end of the year?
What's
Am I
that?
wrong about that? Is Noah Syndergaard a free agent after this year?
I don't know.
Noah Syndergaard is a free agent after this year. It's last year. This is it. If you don't see him now, you're not going to see him.
Yeah, I just don't have, like, I don't know. I don't want to see these dudes ran out and go through the rigors of trying to bounce back at this portion of the season. And I understand, like, we get them back, we get them healthy, we can insert them, and you never know. I don't know. You never know what. You're 7 out of the second wild card spot right now. The division, hey-gow.
Yeah, right now the Mets, we talked about them being 7 games back in their division in third place. They're 7 games back of a wild card as well. And there are 4 teams in their way of that wild card.
So you tell me, as we sit at the end of August right now,
yep,
what impact do you think a healthy Noah Syndergaard and a healthy Jacob deGrom can have for you where you're at right here, right now? Do you legitimately believe you make up 7 games within your division and or the wild card?
Nope. I think it's curtains for the Mets in 2021, with or without Noah Syndergaard and Jacob deGrom coming back. Obviously, like it's like if Jacob deGrom comes back, he's going to be great, and they still are like a 500 team when he pitches anyway. Noah Syndergaard coming back does not mean Noah Syndergaard's going to be good. If Jacob deGrom comes back, you know he's going to be great. He just is. But like, what does Noah Syndergaard look like when he comes back? Is he even a net positive if he comes back?
Fair question.
Yeah, it's not fucking 2015 anymore.
All right. Syndergaard, deGrom.
Syndergaard.
Got the Syndergaard rehab going. Bregman back. They did announce the schedule. We talked about that, the postseason schedule. We playing baseball until fucking Thanksgiving.
I just searched KFC's Twitter and the word Kunsel, and he has not officially Kunseled the season.
Well, maybe he's waiting for the Syndergaard rehab.
Syndergaard. I don't know. That is shocking to me. I know that he's trying to be like the positive Mets guy now that Frank is the negative Mets guy, but for what has transpired and the window of time that it has transpired in, it is stunning.
He's gonna have to lay off it for a while until they're just dead in the water because of Frank the Tank. That's why Frank is absolutely cornered the market in miserable Mets fandom, and KFC sees that, and so all he's got to do is lay out right now and let Frank wave that flag.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that he didn't have Frank as his counterpart for years. He could just Kunsel the season and keep it moving, and now if you Kunsel, you're admitting defeat to Frank, who would have been right all along about this Mets team.
Yep, and that's where, like, Frank has positioned himself quite nicely, as being the told you so guy.
Oh yeah, and he's right. Frank was right.
Well, there's no there's no debating his assessment of the club and how it's performed recently.
I've even said, like, let's get Frank the Tank on the podcast, and Mets fans were like, no, he's too negative. And it's like, well, what was he wrong about?
They don't want to hear that.
I know they don't, because, you finally have some turnover. You get out from the clutches of an ownership group that brings nothing but pain. You get Stevie Cohen in there.
Yeah.
It's just,
but that right there, like Stevie Cohen, like I'd be curious. I can't wait to take the temperature of the class at the end of this thing. Just how Uncle Stevie's been. Because I think you'd be, I don't want to say shocked, but I think you'd be maybe surprised to hear some thoughts from some guys in that clubhouse.
You talking to anybody over there? Or?
Oh, yeah. Just guys. Guys. Know a couple guys over there. A couple guys close to the team. So, yeah. Just don't know if Uncle Stevie is making the waves that he wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
But is that it? Is that all we got?
I think that's all we got.
All right.
What do we got? What do we got this weekend for weekend series?
I've got my eye on
obviously
one
we've got the
series.
A's Yankees.
A's Yankees. It's the only fucking series I care about at this point.
Yankees. We got Tampa still playing fucking the Orioles. That's like the only team they play. Ooh, that'll be a good one. Giants Braves. Giants Braves will be good. That's really it. There's nothing else that stands out. I'm not interested in Cardinals Pirates. D-backs Phillies does nothing for me. Nats Mets does nothing. Blue Jays Tigers nothing. Astros Rangers nothing. Reds Marlins nothing. White Sox Cubs nothing. Brewers Twins blah. Padres Angels. All right, cool. You get to see Tatis and Ohtani on the same field. That's cool.
How about the Mariners and the Royals with cheese? Royals, hot club, taking on America's team, huh?
America's team. I mean, they are America's team.
Not even close. They're closer to Canada than they are America.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a... I mean, like I said, Giants Braves, that'll be good. That'll be a great series. Shohei, Tatis on the same field, that'll be cool. And then it's a big one. A 4-gamer that begins tonight at the Coliseum. The Oakland A's, the New York Yankees. Wild card showdown. Maybe a preview of the wild card game.
Maybe. Are you saying the Yankees? You saying the Yankees can't threaten for the division?
Yeah, I am saying that.
Oh, Carrabis.
Tampa don't lose. Tampa doesn't lose. Tampa does not lose, and the Yankees cannot sustain this run.
So, do you say the Yankees are not even going to finish? Like, do you have the balls, Jared? Do you have the ball? Do you have the fucking balls right now? You got the fucking nuts on you to say that the New York Yankees won't finish within at least 2 games of the Tampa Bay Rays for the division?
Yep. Yes. The number that I had in my head was 3. I think they can finish within 3. Yeah, I do.
Wow.
But they're not going to win the division. They're not going to win the division, and it's not going to come down to the last weekend.
That's strong. That is strong. Let's just take again. Let's get to the Yankees here. Let's see what their schedule is.
I think they have like 6 more against each other. Maybe. I could be wrong.
August. There's that. Yeah. Red Sox Yankees will square off against September at the end of September. And then they don't play. Wow. They finish with a 3-game set with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. The Red Sox don't. The Red Sox finish with like the fucking Nats. So don't count out the Sox to win the division.
You guys got an absolute
Don't
joke
count out the
of a
Sox to
remaining
win the
schedule.
division. Yeah. Red Sox might win the whole fucking thing. You don't know that. You don't know shit.
The
You don't
Oakland
know
A's.
shit about shit.
As we sit today, as you're listening to this today, the Oakland A's begin the most treacherous march to October in baseball. Know that. Not another team on planet motherfucking Earth has as tough of a time as tough of a trail
We have it so hard.
to October
We have it
than the
so
Oakland
hard.
A's. And we will fucking see you there.
Good luck.
We go!